What's the best way to share a microphone?
Legally speaking, we want to talk into the front. This is tilted towards me.
Sure is.
I do have a quiet voice, though. And we're far away from it, too.
I got long knees. Really prevents any close proximity. Anyways.
We'll make it work.
Yeah.
We'll boost the gain.
Please don't talk until you're introduced.
Oh, I hate that.
Welcome to podcasting, AJ. You've done this twice.
We're deleting all of this. We're deleting... Okay, just start. Okay. I don't even have any water. My voice is going to sound like Tom Waits.
Go get some water.
No, it's too late. We already started.
Welcome to the first episode of Hello, We Don't Talk, Let's Talk. Shout out to Cameron Johnson for the title suggestion, because really, what else could this possibly be called? I have no idea what I'm doing here. I already regret everything that I've chosen to do. But for our first episode, I say my first episode, because I am solo hosting this show. We have a man who has never said a bad thing about Black Eyed Peas. I'd like to go on record as saying that. He is currently one of the co-presidents of the Waterloo Improv Club, and you can see him in various shows in the Toronto area. Give it up for AJ Charley.
Thank you.
I don't know why I phrased that as a question, and why I'm holding for applause when there is no one else in this booth.
I'm hoping that the people listening will be applauding as we speak.
Should we allow them a moment to do that?
Yeah, moment of silence for the applause.
All right, AJ, how are you doing today?
Oh, great. I spent $6 on coffee and $5 on pizza. So
that's an $11 day.
I know. But I'm going to say it's worth it.
Because you got to be here.
Yeah, it's keeping me alive, so I'll pay any price for that.
A lot of things give you life.
Beyonce...
This is where we're going to start. AJ, what are the things that give you life?
I think... Oh, wow. There are a lot of things that give me life. Beyonce, of course, but more Solange. Solange actually... she kept me through 2016. That was the only thing... Dropped an album on September 3rd. Buy Solange's album on iTunes right now. Struggling to remember the title of it, but it was A Seat at the Table.
Yes, it is.
Buy a Seat at the Table. Came out September 30th, 2016. Gave me life. That's the reason why I'm here today, to talk about my icons.
No love for Janelle.
Of course, I love Janelle. I saw her in concert this year. But, I mean, Solange is a movement all in herself.
I should really go back in time and clarify why I'm doing this in the first place.
We're doing this so we can talk about our favorite musicians' albums and promote them.
And that is all. It is actually just me and AJ every episode. There will be no other people.
Yeah. So first episode, Solange.
Yep.
Fantastic.
And absolutely not Kanye West.
No, I know we're gonna get there
eventually. But in all actuality, this podcast is something that I've been wanting to do for a while because I need a creative outlet in my life, and for the love of God, World of Warcraft is not a creative outlet. An office job is not a creative outlet. And a lot of things have transpired in the last year or two that have got me thinking about my relationships with other people and how I don't really talk to other people that much, and I should really change that. And that is part of this. The other part of it is I am a non-fluent speaker, and I need to just kind of overcome that. It's really just a podcast about self-improvement in a very, very loose format. If you are expecting games, you may be disappointed.
What?
I don't know yet.
I'm upset. I came here for games. Oh boy, what is this going to be now?
It is now just 30 minutes of mind meld.
Oh yes, I am so happy.
We will have one successful round every couple of episodes.
Okay, great. Do you want to do a round of mind meld?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Should we explain how mind meld works?
Sure. For the people who don't know, mind melding is an improv exercise, or just an exercise that you can do at any time, not necessarily for improv reasons. It involves two people or more if you're feeling very, very freaky. And each person thinks of a word, and then you do a countdown, and then on the end of the countdown, each person says their word. And if their words match, then you win the round. And if you don't match up words, you will try to think of a compromise word between those two words. And then you will do another countdown. You will say the word that you think is the compromise word. And this will basically keep going until you say the same goddamn word. This has been known to take forever. So yeah, let's just do this in podcast form.
I love it. So great.
All right, I have my word.
I have my word.
All right.
3, 2, 1, circle.
Excellence. Excellence and circle.
Okay.
All right.
I have something.
Yeah, I got it. 3, 2, 1, pie.
Perfect.
Pie and perfect.
Huh.
I got something.
Okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1, number.
Baked?
Number and baked.
Huh. Number and baked. I have something.
All right.
3, 2, 1, 420.
Yes!
I hate my
We
life.
did it. It took a couple tries. We got there.
Yep.
I was torn between 420 and temperature.
Yeah, but I think
There was really only one answer.
there's
and
only one.
It is October. We are a scant 2 weeks away from the legalization of
1017.
marijuana
Yeah.
in Ontario. Expect dispensaries to pop up by the time you hear this episode.
Except in April, isn't it?
I
Because of legislation. You can only buy
listen. I don't know a thing about
alcohol.
politics or weed. I'm not an imbiber in substances.
Fair. Yeah, I like how you said we're going to be playing games in this, and then we immediately.
Yeah,
almost-
I am known to be immediately reverting on decisions that I've made.
Great.
Very hypocritical and indecisive, which is why people love talking to me. Because I will just agree with whatever they want to go with.
I think that explains so much.
Yeah. This is really just for people to understand how I am as a person and for me to say I am sorry.
I think I relate to that.
To actually really solidify what we're doing here, the premise of this podcast is for me to talk to people that I haven't necessarily talked with in a while. This could be anywhere from like more than a decade ago to like, we'll say like 3 months. Now I am immediately breaking that rule because I send small messages to AJ on a monthly basis. And we've been trying to get this arranged for the last, I'd say 4 to 8 months.
Yep.
But hey, we are here, we are doing this, and it is fine.
Yeah, it's going swell. And I think we'll be able to sustain a good 4 hours with this. So strap in. We're getting there.
Yep. Now, the last time we spoke, I had asked you about a story I'd heard about you regarding
Oh God! Whoa!
your younger years. This is a story that I immediately told everybody else of our mutual friends.
Why?
Wherein you bit a person.
Oh no! This is going too public too fast. Even though it happened 10 years ago.
I think the statute of limitations is fine. You don't have to be in hiding anymore.
Oh man. Well, I bit someone. How do I want to approach this? Okay, I'll start by recounting the story because it sounds like that's what has to happen right now. So in 5th grade, we're playing a game of Manhunt, and that was the first year I had started going to the school, Alexander Graham Bell Public School in Ajax, Ontario.
Shout out to Ajax.
It's a terrible place. I actually joined the school a month late in October. Wow. So anniversary time. Because the class was full and I had to wait for someone to leave before getting in.
Now, did you have any part in that person leaving that got you the
I
spot?
wish, but no, unfortunately.
Okay, just want to make sure.
I don't know what happened to him, but he left and I came.
Gross.
It was, it doesn't have to be. That hard derail almost. So troubling time for me. It was, a lot of change happening in my life really quickly, and I was acting up. I was acting up a little bit.
A little bit.
I was always a pretty rebellious, kind of noisy, belligerent child.
You've done an absolute 180 on that. Congratulations.
I'm so docile. I would consider myself a bully at some points, but you know, you have to do what you have to do.
For sure. It's hard out on these streets.
It is hard out on these streets of Ajax, Ontario. So there's a bit of an antagonist, so to speak. But whatever, we're kids. We're playing this game of Manhunt. I never really liked Manhunt because although I liked running away from people, I sucked at being it. I was not good at chasing people. I gave up very quickly. So I would do whatever I can to hide and not get caught in this game of Manhunt, which, if you don't know how to play Manhunt, it's like tag, but when you're tagged, both you and the person who tagged you are now the it, and then the goal is to try to tag everyone else and have everyone be it.
So it's basically just like a search party will form over the over the course of the game.
It's like a pandemic where you can never cure your disease.
Oof.
And the person who survives, who's last to be caught, gets to pick who's it for the next round of Manhunt. Now, I thought in this particular round of Manhunt, during this lunchtime recess, I did pretty well, but I wasn't the last one to survive. This person named...
you don't need to use a real name here,
Jada. Jada.
Sure. Smith.
Jada Pinkett Smith was the last person to be caught. I thought we were cool. I really did think we were cool. I didn't expect for the tables to be turned on me like they were in this instant, but she had decided to choose me to be it.
Now, do you think she had any sense of your disinterest in being it?
I thought we were tight, so
that's something that would have come out in conversation for sure.
No,
there's no way this was
technically speaking, I gave no signs of dissatisfaction.
Gotcha.
But we had a vibe.
Sure.
Okay. But clearly, I don't know, maybe there was a little demon whispering in her ear, but she had decided to choose me to be it. Whatever. Okay, I was gonna roll with it. I'm a cool kid.
Very cool kid.
I was, in a fun way. I started to chase after her.
As you do, you're kids.
As kids, just, jokingly, because, I'm it, right? Oh, I'm going to chase after you. I was like, how dare you, Jada?
You were shouting, this is a manhunt, while you were chasing.
Yeah, pretty much. But it was all in sport. It was a joke. But someone, I'm not gonna, why can't I say his real name?
I mean, you can.
I won't say his last name.
To.
There are so many people named this.
Sure.
I guess someone could go through my mutuals and then...
You don't also need to give tips on how to stalk people on the internet if you are going to give out personal information.
He and people do know he lives in the area. And you could find his school records.
We're also just giving up all of your password questions.
Oh no.
Just gonna need to get through your mother's maiden name and what street you grew up on.
O'Shaughnessy, and I'm not gonna commit to the maiden
Very
name.
good.
Okay, let's say Jack.
Yep, Jack. Jack is a boy.
He clearly didn't get that I was chasing her in jest. He thought I was trying to attack her or some... I have the same position that I've had since I was first accused of being a bad person 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. Just a note. So I'm still, if I sound defensive, it's true, but I also am in the right. So please have some mercy.
You're a man not to be questioned.
Yes, so statements only, please. I started chasing her. He did not like that. So he decided to intervene. Mm-hmm. trying to stop me from chasing her. It turned into some sort of a scuffle, and
Sure.
it was very clear that we were now in a fight. I am a master of the scrap, so he chose the wrong time to get involved. When I fight, I don't fight.
You fight to win.
I fight to win. This is a known fact about me. I've said this so many times.
It's how you got into comedy.
It's how
It was
I got
a
into
desire to
comedy.
win.
Yeah, I'm very competitive. I must note, I did not throw the first punch. I did not instigate this fight because I was still in happy joking mode until he threw one punch.
And that's when you started seeing red.
Well, yes. He threw a punch. He missed me. And I saw an opportunity that I couldn't refuse. His arm was just open. No defense, no blocking. Once you throw a punch, you leave yourself wide open. Me, looking for the ideal, optimal path to a victory, seized this moment and also seized his arm with my teeth. And he was wearing a very thick sweater.
Yep.
But I did not let go. I chomped down on his arm, and I held that until I felt as though he had learned his lesson. I actually, this is an embarrassing thing that I've never told anyone.
No.
This is an embarrassing
I enjoy
thing.
getting this exclusive bit.
I don't even want to say this.
Episode.
I don't want to say this. But I don't know if you'll know this, but my inspiration for doing this came from an episode of Naruto. Where Sakura's like trying to fight Orochimaru.
Sure, yeah. Everyone knows the history of Naruto. Shonen Jump's greatest.
Never said this before. She's trying to fight Orochimaru, and she can't fight anyone.
For sure.
But she does what she can. She basically bites him on the arm, and she doesn't let go. And she's drawing blood, and somehow that turns into a victory for her. And I remember I chose that as my fighting style. Some people look at Crouching Tiger, and they're like, "Wow,
Bruce
that looks
Lee,
cool." Or Bruce Lee.
You went for the scrap.
I went for the Scrappy Sakura. How can you not? So that's where my inspiration came from.
I am so glad that this little addendum came out.
I might regret saying this out loud. But yeah, so I did this. And I bit him so hard through a thick sweater and a shirt that he had to get a tetanus shot. I don't think I broke skin, but I left him bruised for days.
Nice.
And I got my first of 3 suspensions that year.
Now,
for that.
3 suspensions.
No, yeah.
I might need some deets
Of
on these
course, I'm
other
setting
2.
myself up.
Yep.
So yeah, that was a story that I have not yet lived down. I've lived it down in the way that I still think I'm justified. But
it probably went undiscussed for a while.
No, it was discussed often.
Really?
We never got into the details of what it was, but I was taunted with it for a while after, especially by specific people who they know who they are, who will bring it up at any given opportunity.
And that's just friendship right there.
That's just
and
friendship.
That's what this podcast is all about.
Mm-hmm. Using trauma as a sort of bonding moment.
Yeah, man, everyone's got them.
Yeah.
I fell down some stairs, and that's about it. Just a lot of head trauma, repeatedly.
I do believe, will I regret saying this? Who
No.
cares? I think children need to fight. I shouldn't clap talk on a podcast. But this is your one moment where you can actually fight.
Without doing a lot of
damage, getting away with it reasonably well. You need to, and if someone asks you if you've been in a fight, I think you should have some sort of answer.
You don't want to appear weak. You don't want to say no.
Yeah.
Because then...
I am 5'5", 106 pounds, but no one will mess with me because I have really good answers to that question of, have you been in a fight? I'm very intimidating.
A biting man.
I'm a biting man. Burning Man who?
He's got some teeth. Thank
Burning
you
Man,
for
Burning Man.
sharing your story.
Yeah. We don't have to go over the other two.
Yeah, I'm actually just going to go back and cut this out because it's just a lot of you talking, and I need to hear me.
This is your podcast.
Yep, damn right. So yeah, since that night where we last talked, I went to go see Isle of Dogs, which was fine.
Mm-hmm.
You went on an absolute tear through Toronto, essentially.
Oh boy.
Like my updates on your life come through Facebook, which is a terrible, terrible website.
Yeah.
Should really just get off of that and all social media. But I like keeping up with people. Mm-hmm. And it was just a summer of AJ's doing a show or watching a show.
I have a spreadsheet of every show I've done, recounting all the details. And I can tell you the exact count for 2018 so far.
Ooh.
130.
Holy shit. We are in October. There are a scant 90 days out of 365.
Yep.
You've done 100 plus shows.
I'm taking a break now, though.
For school?
For school.
Okay.
So really slowing it down.
So how did you manage to just ramp up so hard over the course of the year?
Saying no very infrequently, being lucky, but luck is using like kind of the RPG methodology. You have a luck stat, right?
Yep.
That's not normally something you can control, but I think if you can put yourselves in situations to be as lucky as possible.
Sure. Luck is just opportunity and preparation.
Yeah. So if you do the preparation and then make yourself very visible, that leads to opportunities. And the way I did this was by taking classes, improv classes, and then also performing as much as possible.
Gotcha.
And that led to a cascading effect of being asked to do things and then continually saying yes. And then, 130.
For your first show, how were you feeling going into it?
Oh.
Very confident?
The first show I did was Twitterprov. This was in, I think, December of 2017. Ran by a guy named Carmine Lucarelli. Shouts out. The first time I've ever been casted on the show, my name's on this little Facebook
top billing
image, top billing. But it wasn't. It wasn't hugely. It was just a one-off, so it wasn't hugely advertised. So we ended up having no audience. The cast was the audience.
That is a smooth show.
It's a smooth show. It's definitely not the worst show I've done. Yeah. It was a fun format where we just took tweets and used them as inspiration for scenes.
Just tweets from people directed at an account, or just tweets that you would see in a random feed.
General tweets, just general tweets, and we use those inspiration for scenes. Played some scenes. They were pretty fun, and I was pretty nervous, but pretty excited to. After a few months of classes and going to jams, jams being shows where you put your name in a bucket, they pull out your name, you get to do a scene, and then everybody who shows up gets to do a scene on stage. After doing those for like 3 or 4 times a week for a few months, this was the first show I've ever been casted in. So it was pretty exciting, but I was pretty nervous. I still get nervous before most shows anyway.
Do you find that sort of fuels you into just having some just this tense ball of energy?
Yes, but that isn't always a good thing. Right. Sometimes that leads me to just being way too anxious in my scenes, and it's very visible. Sometimes it's funny. Sometimes I think it makes people concerned. I already have a knack for making people concerned, even when I'm not doing anything. So sometimes that isn't the best thing. But I think...
Is it because people see you and think this young boy is lost?
Yeah. Yeah, because I look like a minor, as you said very rudely as we walked in here. But the best shows definitely aren't those nervous ball of energy shows. The best shows seem to be the shows where you just don't care whether it succeeds or fails. You just go out there to have fun, and you usually end up doing that. So when I'm sick, I'm popping off.
Nice. So outside of improv, you've also done sketch shows, and you've also done a stand-up routine.
Ugh. Yeah.
Now, you have sent me a direct link to this video. I don't believe you posted it to YouTube for public viewing. So I've respected your wishes and not sent it to anyone else.
I'm garbage at stand-up. I don't like it.
Now, what was your process for doing a stand-up routine on the topic that you chose?
I wanted to talk about the Nword for 15 minutes. I was just like writing down observations. If you are interested at all in comedy, I think it's just a good practice to have a notepad. I like to use Google Keep. It's a note-taking software. And I write down just everything, every little thing, whether it's a joke or not.
Oh, yeah. Vaguely
comedic premises. And then eventually I go through them and compile them into something. I had quite a bit centered on this specific topic. And I was like, my first, probably last stand-up routine. I want to end with a bang. And what's
start fast and fast.
Start fast and fast. Yeah. And yeah, it's part of me just wants to make. I think I wanted to make people a little uncomfortable, though. I don't make people uncomfortable in that way.
Absolutely
usually.
Not.
I make people uncomfortable by...
I was uncomfortable when you actually said the full N-word.
Yeah.
I just, for some reason, that caught me off guard. There's no reason for that to have caught me off guard. It just did.
But I also was very aware of that, and I addressed that then.
You didn't even use the full form immediately. You said the N-word for the first, maybe half of your set. And so then I was just like, wow. He may legitimately be uncomfortable saying this.
I don't use it enough. My mom never liked me using it, and I don't
Same
swear.
here.
I don't. Well, good. I like your mom. She seems cool. Based off that one thing, that's my criteria.
My mom's
Yeah. I don't swear. Period. Though when I'm not prompted to. It's just always been like this. I don't know why, but I don't.
It's fine.
It's great for my image. It's like, wow, clean comedy. Old people love me. Old people love me, and I'm all variations.
But not old people.
Old even.
Ooh.
Moms, I don't want to
You vibe with moms.
I vibe with moms. I don't want to expose myself here and have all the moms listening and be like, well, I can't like him anymore because now that he knows.
He is full of himself. We can't tolerate this sort of arrogance.
But it's I don't know why. But I guess part of that is because I'm generally very clean and I like clean, but I also will do entire sets based on the N-word. Because I need to.
Yeah, you need to get it out of your system every once in a while.
Yeah. But it's a great word, and I have so much more I'm planning on doing with it. I have a lot.
But maybe not necessarily another stand-up set.
Never another stand-up set. Sketch comedy, yes. Stand-up, no.
The audience reception seemed pretty good.
But I watched that set over. No, not great.
Yeah, I think the key is to never look back at things that you have done. Maybe in an introspective sense, but just don't review exactly what you did. For example, I will never listen to this episode.
I will listen to it.
I have lived it. I know what happens, sort of. I'll get the general arc. I will omit the bad stuff and keep the good stuff in my head, which will presumably all of it being good stuff.
I review everything I have all the time. I'm weirdly, I don't know, obsessive over
Striving for perfection.
striving for perfection. It's unhealthy, but whatever. That's my general.
Everybody does something unhealthy.
Yeah, I think
As I look towards my stomach.
I'm not gonna keep exposing myself here. So
So we're just going to drop it at that.
yeah.
So now the third part of this sort of triforce of comedy, sketch.
Mm.
Now, my understanding is that you had done sort of sketch throughout your basically entire life.
Mhm.
How did you come about doing that? Was it just like in a similar vein to how you did stand up, where you just like had ideas that you would jot down and then just sort of like flesh them out more so?
Well, historically, weird word to describe high school, which is like less than 6 years ago. How many years ago was that? Like 4 years ago when I graduated?
How old are you?
I'm 20.
And that was like 2 years ago.
That was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, 3.
I came out at
2 or 3.
17. There was a sketch comedy club that we started in when I was in the 11th grade. The drama teacher that we had came from Second City. So we started that improv club.
Fucking guy. my drama teacher in high school was like some old lady that I don't know what her experience was in theater.
That's normally it, but we got really lucky. In the same year I went to that high school, grade 9. This is the first year he got there. He was new. He started the improv club that year. I was really into doing improv from then, so it was just really lucky getting to be there. We were the first generation to go through the improv club from its inception. Mind melt. Mind melt. That's a great way to start the podcast, I guess. Get on the same page quick. So we started doing sketch. The other people, other people were more into it than I was. I was really into it, but not from the writing point of view. I wrote one sketch each year. And that was like my thing, and they're both formatted in a very similar way. The casting is very similar. Like one specific person always played a character who got chased off at the end of the sketch. So
you gotta learn what lands, and you just gotta find ways to make it hit every time.
But they're pretty good. They're pretty not bad premises. One was about C&E food. It was just a heightening sketch about how C&E food is just disgusting.
For the people who may not be from Canada, the C&E is the Canadian National Exhibition, which is a month-long sort of festival that happens in Toronto with like amusement rides and various exhibitions. It's dope as hell. I haven't been in several years, but I imagine as all these like new weird food shit has come up, I would be more interested. But anyways.
Yeah, my sketch was about that. Getting weirder with food. And then my next year sketch, which I'm actually a bit proud of still, is America's Next Top Model Citizen. I love that sketch. I need to do something more with it, have a season 2, but it's exactly what it sounds like.
Was there a swimsuit round?
There was no swimsuit round, but it was all of the rounds were just Good Samaritan things. Instead of Tyra Banks, we had Tyra Thanks. Just classic.
Very, very good wordplay.
What do you expect?
Just writing.
Yeah. I stopped doing sketch comedy for a while after that, but I kept doing improv through university. But then, December of 2017, I got casted in a sketch comedy troupe in Toronto, Fusion Comedy, which I'm still a part of, and that's a troupe that writes and performs a monthly show. And I got back into it. I started writing like a sketch a month with them, and then I was like, "This is pretty cool. I like this a lot." And then I started writing some solo sketches. The way that usually happens for me, though, is that people ask me to do something. I'm really nervous because it's something I've never done before, but I say yes anyway. And then in the 2 weeks leading up to it, I figure it out and I do it.
Very good.
So
that is a great way to go about life. Just say yes to everything. You will figure it out later.
Yeah, just figure it out later.
That's how I approach my work on a day-to-day basis.
Figure it out later is like the best motto to have, I think, for being productive. Just say yes and figure it out later. So yeah, I found I really liked solo sketch comedy, especially.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been writing and performing some stuff. I have like a signature sketch too that I really like, that people really like. It's a fun one.
Speak on that.
It's like a musical sketch. It's a rap
Oof.
called "Him With The Kale." The idea does not work, technically speaking, because it's a sketch about beating up Nazis with health foods. But for some reason, in the format of a song, it just works, and it's also really catchy. I just came up with the chorus. I was trying to sleep. All my sketch ideas.
You're a hook man.
I'm a hook man. And they always come to me when I'm trying to sleep. I have an hour of insomnia each night, which I never account for. And that's when all my sketch ideas come. And I had this hook, and I was like, okay, hit him with the kale. How do I turn this into a workable comedic premise? Who is someone
who's getting hit?
Who can you hit? Who can you hit that the general public would be okay with?
Yeah. Turns out Nazis.
And so the sketch was born, and it
landed.
It lands. And yeah, I think that's my favorite stuff to do in general. Solo sketch comedy, I find just a ride to do. Nervous every time before it, but once it gets going,
you're not stopped.
It's so
can't
fun.
Be stopped.
Yeah.
What would you say is like your big sort of dud of a sketch that you've done?
I write so few that I have never gotten a chance to really bomb this. I don't want to sound like this isn't braggadocio or anything, but like, what would be the biggest bomb? I need to go through the sketches vocally real quick.
Yep.
At one Google Home, which went well. I had a meet cute sketch, which was fine for a Valentine's Day show. What was the sketch I wrote after that? Oh, I have a sketch that I just could never figure out. I never performed it because I could never figure it out. It was like a relationship sketch where a couple are trying to have a romantic date, and they're trying to have a genuine conversation, but they're eating like extremely hot food. And
just like an episode of Hot Ones mixed with an episode of like First Date or Blind Date.
Yeah.
Or one of those dating shows.
Yeah, it'd just be them suffering on stage. Never got to do that sketch. Don't know what that sketch is still. I think don't think it would work.
It would absolutely work as a YouTube miniseries.
Maybe
not like a sketch that you read ahead of time.
No, like it'd be a hyper derivative miniseries, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know what's the biggest dud though. I just don't do.
You don't do duds.
I don't do duds. I don't do enough sketch comedy for it to be like, for like, I guess, law of averages,
Mm-hmm.
to get those outliers of really bad. Like I've never had a really bad. I've had sketch shows with few people, 2-person audience, but then you overcompensate and you end up having fun. We ended up having fun that day anyway. But
the pressure
improv is where I could clearly recollect shows that don't.
It's hard.
Improv is hard. Improv is way harder.
So you took classes. What would you say your biggest takeaways from those classes were for anyone wanting to get into improv, or just like take elements of improv into their daily life?
There's so much. I find the whole core of say yes and figure it out later, that's pretty much equivalent to the improv tenet of yes and, which is useful in life because it helps you move forward, accept things, and actually take some risks, which I think is important, to not even necessarily huge risks, but just to spice up your life. It's just easier to think about positivity and actually accepting weird or different things that come your way. In terms of comedy specifically, though, some classes really informed, I think, my comedic style. Like one class was really focused on like movement and stage picture, and improv tends to get a little talking heady.
Dialogue heady.
Everybody has the same comment on it, whatever. This class really helped me figure out ways to take risks and play bigger or different things, experiment with my body more, and think about stage picture more and how we look to the audience. So I think that was a pretty big takeaway. But yeah, most of my friends, my social circle is really improv sourced. So that's a huge takeaway. It's not necessarily like a lesson or anything, but that's something that's really valuable to me. We met through improv.
Yep, we met through the UW Improv Club.
UW Improv Club.
Shout out to whoever started that, presumably 20 years ago.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's just a good thing for anyone to just seek out every once in a while. Improv in general, there are drop-ins all over the place. Small towns and big cities there's usually someone trying to do something. Yeah, the socializing aspect, but also the personal growth aspect, they're both great takeaways that I think are very valuable. Yeah.
So, as I mentioned at the top of the episode, you are currently one of the co-presidents of the UW Improv Club. There is a summit that the UW Improv Club hosts every year. And you told me the theme for this year's UW Summit is a topic that you know nothing about.
Yep. Very little about.
So it is Warcraft themed.
Warcraft.
Which is something that I care about very deeply. From a gameplay perspective, not necessarily from a lore perspective. What is the targeted date for that summit?
Well, I'll give you the full rundown of the summit, because we're in the midst of officially announcing it now. So the summit's called World of Waterloocraft. It's a video game themed summit, so there's going to be a bunch of elements from a bunch of games. Warcraft happened to be the easiest way to...
Something that started with a W.
Something that started with a W, but also we use it to structure our night with, classes. Like we have the Brock Barbarians and the Waterloo Warriors. It's cheesy, but
Waterloo
it's
Warriors,
kind of...
conveniently also our actual... mascot.
I don't know who that is. I don't know what that is. I know nothing about.
We're at chat school now.
I hate that.
Or at least a year ago or 2 years ago.
Are we still winning? I don't know. But we do competitive improv. Maybe, I don't know, people might not know what summits are. I guess I can give the rundown of what those are generally. So in Ontario/Quebec, McGill, schools often host these improv summits where the improv teams of a bunch of schools all convene for a night or two of competitive improv where the teams play improv games or scored points. And at the end of the summit, a champion is crowned and they win that summit.
They get to hold that pride until the next summit.
They get to hold that pride until the next summit.
Get swung at by competitors.
Yeah.
People challenging the throne.
People all the time.
But it's all love.
Yeah. Waterloo often has the first improv summit of the school year. This year, ours is on November 2nd and 3rd. Night one on Friday, November 2nd, will take place at Arts Lecture Building, room 113. From, I think, doors open 6:30. We show starts at 7, ends at 10. And then night two is at the Kitchener-Waterloo Little Theater on the Saturday. Pull some
strings for that one.
Pull some strings. And that's at the same time. Come out. We're going to have this video game themed summit with some lore, some video game aesthetics, music.
Will there be a Twitch chat available?
Oh boy, I had some ambitious ideas for this summit that we are not following through on.
Oh, unlucky.
What I wanted to end the summit on was like we'd have a bad guy who's like the raid boss,
Sure.
and all the teams are working
Trying to
together to take it down. And in this final boss sequence, we'd have two people like pull up chairs in like suits and with headsets on, and they'd start shoutcasting this final battle between these improv teams and our big bad. And then the team that scored the most points over the summit would be the one that gets to get the final blow and gets to loot the raid boss.
And how did this not pan out?
Well, there's more. Because
You want this done in hologram form.
I wanted this to be a projected thing where I'd get you to make videos of an actual in-game footage.
Gotcha.
Where each team, we'd see like their name of each school in an actual raid, and we'd have like our bad guy's actual face photo like edited onto the raid bosses. And then since we'd need there are 8 possible outcomes because there are 8 teams.
Yep.
We'd have to make 8 different videos for each potential outcome.
And I get paid an exposure for this, right?
We'll talk about that off
Okay.
cast. But that's not gonna happen. But we'll have something.
We will have something even better.
And
by we, I mean they.
Yeah. We'll figure it out, but it's coming.
Has there been any talk of actually live streaming a summit?
Has this been done before? It might have been done.
Because I'm a person who does not like to leave the house, but I love my improv friends.
Leave the house. It's uptown Waterloo. It's
in
not
the
far.
almost winter.
I'm pretty sure I live further from the school than you do now. Right now, I live in Kitchener right now.
I mean, that's where I live.
I live far.
You're in deep Kitchener.
I'm in deep Kitchener. I'm at Fisher Hallman in Ottawa. Find me.
Jesus.
Come at me. Yeah, I'm not that close. Though the bus ride's a straight line, so it's not that slow. But come through. I'm talking to you.
I'm going to. Because I have no other choice.
Yeah. But it's happening.
Who are the 8 competitors this time around?
We don't know yet.
But you just know that there will be a cutoff of 8.
There's a cutoff of 8. We are only sending out we're sending out preliminary invites today because some feelers. Because we only locked down the venues today because midterms are a mess to deal with. But we have the general competitors for summits are like Waterloo, Western University, U of T, Toronto, Brock, McGill, Ottawa, Carleton, McMaster.
That is 8.
That is 8. There are 9 though. Oh, and we are really hoping for Guelph, who haven't been featured at the summit in some time. Mm-hmm. So those are the 9 potential troops. Waterloo's confirmed. So the other 8 are going to have to tough it out for the 7.
Imagine having to host without having a competitive team to play.
How soon is this going to come out? Okay.
Competitive comp team was like recently tryouts for that.
Yeah.
Somewhat recent, right?
Yeah, we had.
How are you feeling about the prospects this year?
We can cut this out if
of
we
course,
don't.
If you feel uncomfortable.
It was fun. I don't like being president.
Listen, president is a very hard title to have these days.
It is.
Nobody likes it.
I think as far as presidents go, though, at least as far as what I've been seeing lately, I'm pretty competent on in comparison to many. Many man. That's about as political as I get.
Yep. That is. I would cut you off for the sake of the show.
Yeah, good.
I don't like to alienate 30% of people.
We should, but we'll stop here. I did not run. Normally, the process is that you apply to be president, that are voted on. What controversy there was to change the process of voting, by the way. But now it's a democratic. What is it? Is it a ranked ballot? It's like a proportional representation system. I think. I hope so. I don't remember correctly.
That sounds like the incorrect term, based on the fact that having a percentage of a person, probably not.
Well, it's like we.
So like you'll have a round of voting.
Yeah,
and then you'll drop out like the lowest voted person.
I think we just select the highest.
That's just raw democracy.
Yeah, but I think it's a weighted voting system because the previous presidents and the executive team have slightly higher weighting because they kind of know the biz a bit more. The biz, but I never applied to be president.
Oh.
No,
this is a you are voluntold situation.
I was voluntold because the some of the mainstays, the really vets of the improv team, they weren't going to be around, presumably because of co-op. They'd be on work terms. It ended up turning out that almost all of them ended up working in Waterloo, so they're here anyway. But a worst case scenario would have been I would be the only senior from older than 2 years here on campus, and the other two would never been president or anything like that before. So it worked out, but so I was voluntold to be co-president. It's hard.
What are your tasks as a president of an improv club?
So when you're president in the fall, you're designing and running the Waterloo Summit. You're also planning the logistics for going to the other university summits in the fall, which includes this year McGill and Western, also in November. It also
is a packed November.
It's a packed November, and then you also are in charge of running the general improv club nights, where anyone can go, even people who aren't students. It's free for anyone, and that's just selecting the games, making everything run smoothly, which we could work more on. But we've been having a really good turnout for that, actually.
Nice.
We have like average of 24 people a week, not including the executive members. So it's pretty good. And also figuring out the team, the competitive team, holding auditions, selecting the cast. And then also something newer for UW Improv, we have weekly workshops where we delve into the more detailed and specific aspects of improv. We try to actually build skills in these. And something new that's kind of my baby that we're going to work on, is...
Shout out to the Snowball Man.
I was going to make a reference to another podcast, but I shouldn't, so we'll not.
Thank you for respecting the fact that we have competitors. I have competitors.
Competitors. It's an end-of-term show, a general end-of-term show here at the UW Improv Club's Improv's show, where club members themselves get a performance opportunity at the end of the year, as well as performance team.
That's good practice for people who maybe want to try out for team in future years.
Exactly, yeah. So they can.
And also just good quality entertainment.
Yeah, we don't have much of a footprint, publicity footprint here on the school. We have our core members who love it, but we're not very visible. Yeah. Like the a cappella teams here.
Those guys.
They get accolades.
They
They really they get personalized messages from Trudeau. Like, I'm not jealous, but, but they're making it happen.
Yeah.
They have shows that
They have
get
multiple
great
teams
turnout.
invited to
Multiple teams.
Summer Lights Festival.
Yeah, we were at Summer Lights Festival though.
You sure were.
Not
Not the greatest setup.
No, but we found a way to make that.
And that's what improv is all about.
Yeah.
Finding a way to make it work.
Yeah, which we did. We figured it out. So I want to just take some more ownership and have more shows on our own terms, because why not?
You need to be seen.
We need to be seen.
You're here for the people.
Yeah. Sort of. But yeah, we should be performing more, so I want to get this happening. I want that to be a recording thing.
No. What is that? What was that actually? How's your character work?
I'm okay at characters, actually. I think. Am I allowed to? I do things sometimes. I think I'm really bad at voice stuff.
That is a bold statement.
I only make definitive statements. I think I'm really bad at voice stuff. I can't do any
sort of like modulation on your own.
I think I have like
no accents.
I can't do any. It's embarrassing. I can't even do like a Jamaican or Caribbean accent. It's real rough.
That's not your background, is it?
That's my background. I'm second generation though, so
gotcha.
I feel like I could do white women fine, and I can because
and that is your end goal, to get to Los Angeles and
like
play for white women.
I understand that's a lifestyle I understand very well. It's the one that I think
if there are groups that care about Solange, it is white women.
Yes.
And you.
Yeah. White Women and Me. That's my autobiography title right there. But the Improv Club's been doing more. We got to do some shows for orientation week, which is new.
Ooh.
We did 2 3-hour sets because we had to play continually because people walk in and walk out. Mm-hmm. It was kind of hard, but we learned a lot about performing for that kind of drop-in audience. And our second night was some just really great improv. And I feel like we're really such a great ensemble. Like, I love working with, because we kind of have, our performance ensemble is like mostly like the veterans who've been around a while. So we know each other. And we had like 5 people performing that night. 4 or 5. So it was a really tight. And everybody's just so good. Everybody brings something so interesting. So yeah, it was good times.
I think Waterloo by far has the most diverse cast that I've seen of the comp teams.
Yeah, we do have a very diverse cast. I'm really happy to say we have very good gender parity, 4 women, 3 males this year. Great. We have some ethnics. I'm 50% of them, but we're getting there. We have some LGBTQ diversity up in there. I'm also 50% of that, as far as I know. But whatever.
But you're not asking around to get the solid numbers.
Yeah, no,
because that's not how people are supposed to be known.
Yeah, we are people who like playing with each other. That's how we decided the casting, and we're happy with what we have this year, and we're excited to get going, performing more.
So you mentioned earlier workshops. Are those also available to just anyone?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Easy.
Schooling.
Ugh.
Currently on a school term. You are halfway through your university career?
Halfway, 3D.
Geospatial something or other?
Geomatics, which is spatial analytics, which is digital cartography. These are the ways that I simplify.
By
maps.
Yep.
Maps. You know
Maps,
Google Maps.
digital.
Yeah, I do that. And I'm minoring in French and computer science.
Those are 2 things to minor in.
Yeah, I should know these are 2 separate minors. we don't have an option for. We don't have
there's no combo French computer science.
It's not even like French computer science. It's French in computer science. The study of French, the use of the French language in computer science practices.
So why French over any other language? Just because it's a national.
Because I've been there.
You've been to France?
No, never. I've been there in terms of did French all through grade 9 to 12.
Gotcha.
Mark Booster. I know how to work the system for language courses, which is really true. I'm very good at gaming language courses.
The Diamond League of Legends player, very good at gaming.
Ew, I uninstalled League.
Good call. It's not fun.
It's not. Is it not?
But hey, World is up. So you get to see some cool high-level play.
I'm upset. But school.
Easy there, Drake.
I don't even like that
title.
I hate that. But I love Nice for What, though? Drake always comes out with one song that I'm always like, thank you, Six God. You did it again. Saving my life. Giving me life. We've listed now 2 people who give me life, Drake and Solange. So
3. We got Janelle, too. 4.
Janelle. Okay, 4.
Oh, damn.
We'll see who else as time goes on. Drake, he gives me life with one song every album cycle. But the thing is, are we getting into rap discussion?
We will get into the music discussion.
Oh, God, there's a lot to talk about. Scorpion.
Yeah, you texted me like 2 weeks ago. You were filled with some takes that you needed to get out there because they were
angry,
just absolutely blazing.
It's been a wild few months.
Yeah, 2018's been a crazy
year.
ride.
There's so much to talk about musically, but Drake, Scorpion, he's one song I like, and then 80 other tracks like no one needs. Don't even get me started about In My Feelings. I hate that song. I hate any meme.
Do you think there should have been a different meme song?
I wrote a sketch about Nice for What. It could have become a meme. It should have become a meme.
You got to get it out there. You got to get the footage. Let the people know.
Well, whatever. I'm gonna do a sketch show and it'll be there. I need to do it before the song's totally irrelevant, which is TikTok. I like Kesha more than Drake. Anyway. Another person who gives me life.
No problems here. I'm an Aubrey
Graham. You're not a Graham stan?
Nah.
Okay. Good. Nice for What is a great song. I feel like the breakdown could have... This is a critical analysis.
Yep.
Of Nice for What. I feel like the breakdown, exciting. It's exciting to hear a more dynamic, erratic production from Drake because he can get very boring and static. I feel like the breakdown could have gone further, but it's a jam, whatever. That bounce style, taken from New Orleans bounce, I love it. Very interesting, great sample. This is a track review. But the other songs on this album are not anything. I hate Drake.
Listen, 40's sick, as has been noted by some people.
Okay, are we talking about Pusha T now? Oh boy.
These are tight segues.
These are pretty good segues, actually. Let me tell you. Let's talk about the diss track and then let's talk about Daytona. That
Story of Adidon.
And then we're gonna let's talk about Daytona.
Gotcha.
And let's talk about the diss track. We'll use the diss track to segue into Eminem's diss track. Then we'll talk about Kamikaze. Then I'll use that to talk about Tyler, the Creator. We'll talk a little bit about Flower Boy, even though that's a 2017 release. And then we'll see where it goes from there.
Gotcha.
Great.
Listen, this mic is all yours now. I'm just going to point it away.
Oh, I'm taking over the...
Yep, this is...
Because I have a lot to say.
We're actually going to have a split podcast here. AJ will just take over from this point on.
There's been a lot on my mind.
All right. Trouble's on your mind. Pusha T, Daytona,
then,
let's go.
Where do we even fit Kanye West into the... Maybe just not talk about him because he's canceled. I like that, actually. Yandi who? Daytona. The beats. The bars. It's kind of sounding Fantano-ish. That sounds Fantano-ish.
Yeah.
But that ad-lib, so good.
Album of the year?
It's up
Rap
there.
album of the year?
It's up there. Rap album of the year? No, because that's No Name's Room 25
Ooh, true.
so far. But, there's so much to talk about. Out of produced by Kanye West albums that came out, for me, Daytona's the one that stands on the top. We're going to have a discussion around here about Kids See Ghosts, because I don't know I don't understand the appeal of that album at all. I don't like any song. I like the beat for that one song, that minimalist. I don't even remember. It has a very good beat. It doesn't
Fourth
have
Dimension.
a lot of. I think so. It barely has Cootie on it, so it's not the first song. I don't think it's the second song. I think it's the third song. It's like an old-timey kind of ragtime.
Yeah. That's absolutely Fourth Dimension.
Fourth Dimension. I like that song.
It's a good sample.
It's
It's
such a good
wild sample.
It's so good. But
I think a lot of the draw for Kids See Ghosts was a return of Cuddy from a wild ride that he took on Speeding Bullet to the Trash Can.
Yeah.
And it was nice to see him back on form and like with good hooks, not like this weird.
But are they even that good though? Where?
Dude, did you not like Reborn, that refrain?
No.
Keep moving forward, man.
I hate that. I hate that so much. So what did it count? Who did the count of how many times he says? It was probably Fantano.
Sure.
It says like 55 times in this song. I hate that song. I think it's repetitive and not in the sonically interesting way. I think it's just boring. And I don't think he's not a good singer either, which I can stand sometimes, but not in his case. Because when his vocals are dry and very upfront, it just hurts to hear. I like Free and I like Fourth Dimension. Everything else is pure basura for me. I don't want it.
You can't deny the energy of that opener. Just the second half of that opener.
It's a good meme.
You is that on the list of things that I asked you to do at like the start of the year?
Oh God, what was that list again?
It was a list of the top 5 memes in music.
Oh God,
I don't remember
of all time.
I don't remember what spawned the idea of the list.
There's
I feel like it was either Nword or Kanye himself that started the list.
Well, I don't even know. I feel like every once in a while there's a thing in rap that comes up that makes me want to write a dissertation because I just get so charged. But I don't think I'd be writing about memes. I'd be writing about how Eminem's not even a good rapper. My thesis is Eminem is not a good rapper. And
I look forward to your think piece.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Front page of Vice.
Front page of
Noisy.
But yeah, like Daytona was a high for me of those releases. I love KTSE. I feel like that's just a solid like 7.8 out of 10 album.
Very specific.
Very
good significant digits.
It's not quite an 8, but it's definitely not a 7.5. It's a good album. That's what 7.8 means to me. Though I think I like it less now than I did at release. But it's probably my second favorite. I listened to Nasir once, and I was like...
I listened to half of Nasir once.
No.
I was like, this is...
Not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was grading, but better than Nasir, I think. I like... what's that song?
All Mine?
Genie in the Bottle. Yeah. I like that song.
Genie in the Bottle?
Yeah. That's what I think the song's called. I like that song. Yeah, it's a great first and second half. Which means almost the opening song I hate. I hate the album art. I hate Kanye West. That's what I'm trying to say.
Gotcha. That's fair.
But it was all worth it for Daytona.
He is off on something. Probably his meds.
Mm-hmm.
He was wilding out.
I can't. I like I love it more than anything that Kanye's done this year, which I hate.
It's
It's a terrible song.
It's a fun song.
I hate the song, but I also love the song. Sometimes I think it's just Lil Pump. I hate all his music, but I love all his music. Probably because when you hate something that much, it's a passion that you just
Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang.
I love
fun.
Sometimes we have like improv after parties at whatever theater, and my favorite thing to do during the karaoke sessions that happen is I wait for like people to do like, I don't know what these songs are, but these are like 80s classics, and that everybody
Steely Dan.
Not even Steely Dan. Everyone was Steely Dan, I'd be so in, but no one likes Steely Dan. Not even old people. But it's like I just like waiting for like someone to do like a really classic rock song and then doing Gucci Gang right after. Because it's like so few people are on board.
The juxtaposition.
The juxtaposition is so great. And these are like early 30-year-olds too. And mostly older 30-year-olds, and it's just I need to give it to them. This is what life is like now. This is what the kids are listening to. Gucci Gang.
Quick aside on I Love It. How many people are going as like box-bodied people for Halloween?
Great. That music video. That's why I love the song.
Or Fiji/Perrier bottles from the SNL presentation.
I was underwhelmed by Lil Pump. Is just the most underwhelming performer. It's so upsetting because if for anyone else would give so much life to it. It's so inherently fun being dressed in that boxy suit and being dressed as a Fiji bottle, but he just makes it look so boring. It's like so free. Like that. I
think it's up to you to show how it's done. I guess
I need to. There's a sketch somewhere.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, but there's this one GIF of that performance that I just need to find and save it forever because it's just so funny. It's just a slow pan of like, Kanye. It's so funny. The music video is genuinely one of my favorite, probably my favorite music video of the year because it's just so absurd.
Yes.
Roblox. Oh, God, like why? Who told? Does Kanye play Roblox? Is this what he does? Who knows?
Yes, Kanye plays Roblox. Chance plays Fortnite for sure.
And then Danny Brown dropped an album on Twitch.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening? He's playing Persona 5.
Yeah.
Danny Brown playing Persona. Of course, Danny Brown
Rise Up is really the theme of 2018.
Oh my God. Danny Brown has... Just a quick aside. Danny Brown has the best taste out of any rapper I know. Maybe. Probably. Playing Persona 5. He could be playing any basic game. He could have been playing Overwatch, fine. Mm-hmm. But this man's playing Persona 5.
That man is dedicated.
Drops an album. His beat selection also shows he has great taste. And I saw an interview where he says his favorite album is Love's Forever Changes, which is an album by this band called Love, dropped in like 1967. It's just a really good album. It's one of the greatest of all time. And you never expect...
Spotify that shit, people.
Spotify it. It is so good. It's better than the Beatles, who are not quintessentially. They're quintessentially
They're very
good
connected to...
they're not good, though. They're not good. Just like Eminem.
Hot takes.
Beach Boys are better.
Diss track. Eminem. Go.
But first, Story of Eddie Don.
Oh, right.
Probably the track of the year. I think it can't be any other song.
Can't beat it.
Wow, like, what a move. Just this cerebral...
Just calling him out on just exposing a man.
Yeah, that's just so smart. So smart.
He set the trap on Daytona.
Mm-hmm.
Drake took the bait.
Mm-hmm.
Got just punished in the same way that a young boy missing a punch will get bit.
Mm-hmm. Pusha T was really doing the bite. He was scrappy Sakura-ing for sure. And he did not let go of that arm.
And it has been
40, hunched over like he's 80. Oh, he didn't need to do that. Why? Oh my God.
It has been like 120 days with no response.
And we're still talking about it. Everyone's still talking about it.
Everyone. Not a single person has let this go.
No, it's just incredible. Magical moment of music history right there. Which leads into very profitable for Pusha T. It does not hurt Drake at all. So just even from a business perspective, it's flawless thinking.
It's what we like to call Pareto optimal, where someone can be better off without making someone else
It's
worse
just
off.
perfect. But I think that Eminem's version is just this very blatant marketing ploy. It's just offensive that people even pay attention. I'm offended when people pay attention to this diss because Pusha T and Drake, that's an interesting battle. Drake has some leverage in that he's the most popular rapper today, right now. I don't think they're at the same level, technically speaking, but Drake can at least hold his own a little, and there's actually some stakes here. There are no stakes in a battle between Eminem and Machine Gun Kelly. There is no reason why Eminem has any. There's no reason for him to spend any time writing a diss track for Machine Gun Kelly. That you're not. Everyone knows.
When was the last time anyone talked about MGK?
No one ever talks about him. So this is just it's so blatant that this is not an actual battle that they have any real investment in besides financial, because it's just no one in their right mind would have an expectation that Machine Gun Kelly could say anything or do anything
to Eminem
and as a response, and it's a beef that is not fresh in any way.
This is some
has no relevance.
Rotten beef, uncooked.
It's upsetting.
Just throw it out.
Yeah, it's absolutely unnecessary, and I think it's stemming from looking at Pusha T's beef with Drake, seeing how incredibly successful that was, because that was a huge success from any measure, and being like, well, how do we turn this into a profitable move over here with these artists? And it worked. It worked very well, and I hate everyone for it. It's very upsetting. Like, no duh, Eminem's gonna be able to clap back with a hard diss, but what kind of target is that?
Have you seen the videos of just like...
No, I refuse to give that my time of day. My time is worth more than spending on MGK.
There was like a comedian who just did like a Eminem style rap parody.
I saw that was really funny.
Popsicle Hospitals.
That was really funny and very true. Very true. Eminem's not a good rapper.
Yep, just says a lot of words that sound the same. Could you take Eminem in a rap battle? Could you take B Rabbit in a rap battle?
Yes. I actually do a show called Rap Battles pretty often, which is it's like a comedians write rhyming bars. We make characters and we battle, and so that is a thing that happens that I've done. I love the show. Rap battling is really fun, especially in this comedic sense. But even then, like, I know Eminem can. I just don't think he should. Not in this case. It just seems so phony.
He's had a historied career. Maybe it's time to just
why don't you spend that energy making a good album for the first time in ever? Because I don't think he has yet.
Ooh, that is...
Eminem stands, you're on notice. I'm coming for all of y'all. If you're an Eminem stan, you don't have good taste in rap.
You can find Ajahnis Charley on Facebook.
Or find me at Fisher Hallman in Ottawa.
Oh yeah, he gave away his intersection.
I'm there a lot waiting for the bus. We're coming off of it. Find me often at 11:30 p.m. and I will... You
are ready.
I will let you have it because Eminem has not yet made a solid artistic statement in his entire career, and it's especially upsetting as an almost 50-year-old man that he's unable to do that even today. So, come at me. My favorite album of the year is Room 25 by No Name, which is objectively the best rap album this year, so your taste already loses. Come for me.
Shout out to
best rapper today, maybe. Technically speaking. I think Kendrick is that great mix of ambition, skill, and artistic integrity that really just comes together in such a magnificent way every time. But No Name, the intricacy of her bars are just, wow.
So you mentioned Kendrick. We recently got a Kendrick x Anderson .Paak song. Oxnard coming out sometime soon. I don't think there's a release date set on that yet.
Kendrick gives me life. No Name gives me life. I like Bubbling, but I don't really like Anderson .Paak. It's just a weird...
Moving on.
Weird thing. I don't know why, because I think he's really good. I just don't...
Have you seen the way his son dresses, though?
Mm-mm.
He has a styling child.
Oh, I'm in. Okay, I'm there for that. It's not Give Me Life.
Yep.
Add that to the list.
Uh,
Blue Ivy.
so I think we could just blow past Kamikaze because you've made your point clear on
Upsetting.
Eminem.
Not good.
And
It's
then
not a good album.
the next step in your roadmap was Tyler, the Creator.
Wow, Flower Boy. So good. Flower Boy is a better album than Eminem's ever released. Just saying.
A definite departure from people who were familiar with Tyler like 5 years ago, where he had this very sort of edgelord
Yeah, because he's
character about
growing up, which is the most important thing for rap artists to do. If you don't do that, then
What are you doing?
what are you doing?
Who is this for?
Yeah, I love it when rappers start when they make their mature album. It's so rewarding because you get such good music, like A Tribe Called Quest's 2016 album. Wow, it's so good.
444?
444, amazing. Like the Roots' latest albums, so good. Yeah, all of those albums are fantastic.
Is it going to be the year for dad rap?
I'm
2019, 2018?
I hope so.
No Atmosphere released an album today that I haven't actually listened to it yet.
Mm-hmm.
It is on the docket for on the bus ride back home.
Yeah, fair. I just listened to Kara Benito's
Ooh,
new
Time
album,
and Place.
Place.
And it's also on the docket for the bus
You
ride
haven't
back home.
listened? Interesting. Have you heard I don't know what singles were released. I have no idea.
I think the last thing I heard from KKB was like TOTP.
Mm-hmm. Well,
That was,
it's interesting.
I think, earlier this year.
It's weird that they got a meme song going. Flamingo?
Yes,
Weird.
very weird.
I'm always happy because that.
I have a friend who just last night, I think Flamingo came up on his like YouTube autoplay.
Mm-hmm. Very
And then-
weird. I love that though.
And then he was surprised that everyone or other people knew about Kira Benito.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, yeah, she's great. Name's out there.
I'm surprised. Very happy. It's like when Redbone turned into a meme and then got way more successful after. It was so late.
Just variations of Redbone plus sound effects was my favorite
So weird.
spawn of that song. It's just like Redbone, but it's at a party and you're locked in
That's
the
a fun
bathroom.
meme. That's top 10, I think. But yeah, good stuff. Tyler Creator doing great work.
So many just one-offs this year too for Tyler.
Mhm.
That's been his 2018, and it is so pleasurable.
Mhm. He's been just getting better and better, which is always exciting.
Wayne's up eventually.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah, I think 2018 in general for music for me, better. There's a higher quantity of releases that I like. I think 2017 had higher highs,
Mhm.
but 2018 is delivering a lot of new, interesting stuff for me. Sophie's new album. Have you heard?
No, I'm not.
No. Let's Eat Grandma. Oh, wow. You need to get in
I
the
absolutely need to.
the sludge pop renaissance. Well, I guess it's not a renaissance, naissance. Some good stuff coming out this year.
Of the things from 2017, aside from Flower Boy, what has maintained its status in the rotation for you?
Damn, so good. My favorite Kendrick Lamar album. Lord's Melodrama, so good. I love St. Vincent's Mass Seduction. Those are my top three for sure. A.V. Terror's Eucalyptus, though that's a bit obscure. Still a fave. Those are my top. There are a bunch of other great ones. Oh. For 2018, though, I'm still trying to decide what my number one is, but it might be a Death Grips record for the first time.
Looking forward to your end of year list.
Oh, it's gonna be. I always do an end of year list.
It's gonna be packed.
I always do an end of year list.
Other lists, your resolutions,
I keep
very
up.
popular every year.
Yeah.
You are over halfway done,
Over halfway done, and
including the resolution that notes that you were over halfway done.
yep. I'm only over halfway done because I've done that resolution, so that's controversial. But yeah, I've done a lot this year. I left the country, which I didn't expect to be doing.
To go to Detroit?
To go to Detroit, yeah, for an improv festival.
Did you ask the question?
No, I did not.
That is fair.
I forgot.
Did you ask a question?
Yes. No, because he asked. Should we clarify what word? He asked me more questions than I got to ask him because I was a man.
We should also clarify who him is in this situation.
Paul Tompkins was there.
The granddad of all podcasts. And Los Angeles comedy.
Yeah, I saw him do. I didn't see. He did Spontaneation there, but I didn't catch that. I caught Paul Tompkins and Friends, which is more of it's like a narrative set with a bunch of funny people.
His friends, presumably.
His friends. Jackie Moyer, Tanya Newsom, Eugene Cordero, and Mark Edmund.
I love Eugene so much.
Met him. I kind of snubbed him when I met him. It was because I didn't know him that well. He came up to our team. And he was like introducing, and I was like barely making eye contact because like BFT and Tony Newsom walked by and into like
those are some heavy hitters, man. But he will fuck you up.
He was like trying to make conversation, and I was just like, the other people on the team were talking to him, but I was just like, who are you? I don't remember who you are really. I don't catch your. I don't press play on the episodes with your name on it. Sorry.
He hosts the Dumbbells podcast. He teaches UCB. He was in Kong Skull Island.
Whoops. Well, he'll never hear this.
He was one of the few people to be a feature on Childish Gambino's earliest mixtapes.
I don't like Donald Glover as a rapper.
All right, that's all the time we have today.
Hey, you know what? Redbone is a fantastic song. One of my faves.
The thing that I find odd is that Redbone is a song that people can do at Chainsaw Karaoke.
Mm-hmm.
And that seems like an odd choice because, A, there are a lot of measures where there is no actual karaoke to be done.
That's why people don't want to do karaoke right.
They absolutely do not.
I have a lot of hair, by the way. But I hide it. I put it away.
I was about to say, it's like, your hair is shorter, but I can't tell if that's because Cap is hiding the rest of it.
Oh, yeah. I don't like 3005. Mike might not even pick that up, and I hope it doesn't, because I'm not trying to make enemies out here. Whatever, you know?
People are entitled to their own opinion, and I'm not going to fight you on mic.
Good.
We get out of this booth, I'm throwing hands.
I haven't put thought into it yet as to specifically why, but it's just not my deal.
It's fair. I'm not hurt. Donald won't hear this, so he won't be hurt.
Never hear this.
And really, nobody else matters. Mm-hmm. It's me and Donald are the only two people that matter on this topic.
Well, good. I feel safe here.
This is definitely a safe space. There's padding on the walls.
There's padding on the walls. It seems very structurally sound. Yeah. What? Yeah, talking to PFT, I was a blubbering mess.
Hard not to be.
Hard not to be. Everyone else was pretty chill, though.
I have seen people that may not have, like, A-list celebrity status to everyone, but, like, people that I hold in high regard. And I can't get out words. Mm-hmm. I recall this one time, the North American StarCraft 2 League came to Toronto, and there is a player from Canada named Hug who grew up in Cambridge, which is adjacent to us. And I saw him in the hotel lobby, and I just kind of pointed at him, and my friends made fun of me for it ever since. That's my trauma, God. Seeing someone and not being able to interact and say hi.
Yeah. Oh, man.
That is a daily trauma.
Awkward. It's so awkward. I had that with Greg Proops, actually. Because I was...
Whose Line?
From Whose Line?
And I don't know where else people may have seen him.
Stand up.
Yes.
Because that rap battle show, we did it for JFL, and we were at this place called the Royal Theater, and he was doing his JFL set right before us. I came extremely early because I like to pace a lot and get a feel for the
space.
place, the space, which was probably excessive, but our rap was fire. So, so I was like backstage, and the people were like telling me where everything is. Oh, this is not live. Why do I care about this?
For the people who can't see what happened, Adri just bumped a microphone that isn't functioning, so we have to.
Which is very.
It is why we have to share this mic, which is why if things seem like sound off and not good, blame that on the Waterloo MAD. Wow, I don't even know what that means.
The media alternative desk.
Yep,
media,
sure. We'll go with that.
Yeah, whatever. He was backstage, and I was also backstage at the same time, and I just kept looking at him, and he was kind of just like walking around. And I was like, I want to introduce myself, but I don't know. I don't want to. It's probably in like a headspace for stand up, so I was just kind of like standing there, and then I started talking to a security guy back there.
Just as a thing to do?
As a thing to do, because I was there so early. And he'd actually played a set with Colin Mockery on it. And then Greg Proops walked by, and then the security guy was like, hey, Greg Proops, you know, I actually played a set with Colin Mockery on it before. And Greg Proops was like, I feel sorry for you. And I was like, if he's allowed to say that, then I should be allowed to at least introduce myself and say, because I thought that was against the rules. But he just made a comment
to just talk about
Colin.
A different comedian.
Yeah, and that's like, I feel like that's an obvious no-no. So I probably should have just introduced myself because we were right there, fully made eye contact. But never. He knows I exist. At least he has at some point. So that's enough for me.
If you ever are in the same space again, he'll be like, I've seen this kid before in his own head, but not actually action it in any way.
Yeah.
That's your relation to Greg Proops.
That's my relation to Greg Proops. Yeah.
So, AJ, outside of the upcoming Improv Summit in a month, what's the rest of 2018 looking like for you?
Oh, boy. Doing some shows at this festival called Herald Fest, coming up in Toronto. That's going on from October 16th to the 20th. Mostly, it's happening at various stages in Toronto, mostly at the Comedy Bar. I'm playing with a troupe called Curious George Washington.
Nice. I love my before and afters.
Yeah. We're doing a musical Herald. So, for anyone who doesn't know, Herald's a long-form improv format where you have like three scenes, and the rest of the format is basically about following up and heightening these three initial scenes, and then at the end connecting these scenes together in a very specific structure. And we kind of turn that into we use music to influence that, sometimes with songs, but sometimes with atmosphere. It's not like a musical narrative set, which is what most people think of when they think of musical improv. So that's what we're going to be doing for Herald Fest, and that's Thursday, October 18th at 8 o'clock. And then I'm performing with a different troupe on the Saturday, Pepperoni Pizza Cats.
And this is you slowing down for school.
This is me slowing down. I haven't performed in a few weeks, so has it been a few weeks? I did a sketch show on the 29th of September, but yeah, it will have been a few weeks, which is huge gap for me, probably the biggest this year so far.
So Pepperoni Pizza Cats?
Pepperoni Pizza Cats. Don't know what format we're going to be doing, but we'll figure it out. I hope it's not a montage, because it's Herald Fest. We should be doing something.
What is a montage in the sense of performance?
A montage is an improv format where you have a series of disconnected scenes. So you do usually a faster format where you do a scene. You get to like a nice line to cap it off. Someone runs across the stage, which is sweeping, and you start a new scene. Usually disconnected from the scene previous, but sometimes you throw connections to previous scenes
Gotcha.
and callbacks. And those are fun too.
Just a rapid fire.
Yeah, rapid fire, anything goes kind of format.
Gotcha.
Which is fine and great. Whenever somebody says something like that, it's never.
It's never the truth.
I like structure a lot because I feel like it's easier to get something closer to artistically valuable and kind of more advanced when you have.
It's like having a blueprint instead of just throwing a bunch of pieces together and be like, "This is a
Too often, I like when the format you choose to do in a show is for a purpose, and I don't like the idea of we'll just get on stage and figure it out, which kind of runs
is contradictory. A really big thing.
Oh boy. So yeah, don't listen to any advice I'd give because I'm a huge hypocrite. But when it comes to actual stage performance, I like knowing what's happening and why, which is probably why I like sketch the most. I just hate. We'll just go up there and have fun. It's fine having fun, but I like being more intentional with the kind of scene work that goes on. I think it's just easier to have a quality show when there's some sort of quality control mindset going into it. But we'll see what we do.
It's like having a safety net.
It's like having a safety net. I like that.
AJ, any final thoughts before we close off this pilot episode of...
Oh boy.
What the fuck's the title of this again? Hello, we don't talk, let's talk. Any shout-outs?
Shout out to every troupe I'm part of.
Name all of them.
Oh, God. Curious George Washington Pepperoni Pizza Cats. UW Improv Comp Team. Shout out to Kinsey Fail. Shout out to Notorious. Shout out to Fusion Comedy. Shout out to... do I have any outstanding commitments I've been forgetting up till now? No, I think that pretty much covers it right now. Severing ties with everything else.
Very good. So if you think you are close to AJ and you didn't get a shout out, you are now canceled, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yep. If you have a complaint, file it to me in person at Fisher Hallman at Ottawa. My office hours are 11:30 p.m. That's it.
Until the bus shows up.
Until the bus shows up. Catch me outside. How about that?
How about that, AJ? Thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks for having me.
It's been a long time coming, but I'm glad that of all the people I could have done the show with, you are a first guest.
Great. No one can take that away from me.
No one will.
Good.
And I think that's it.
Great.
Thank you for listening, whoever you are. You presumably know who I am, so you can find me at the regular place. Facebook, Twitter, twitch.tv/tofuboy87. Watch me not stream my World of Warcraft progression. And yeah, that'll be it for this first episode of Hello, We Don't Talk, Let's Talk. And I'm going to open the store now.